Bonjour à tous.
Hello, everyone.
I want to start today with news about changes to our Liberal cabinet team. This morning, Navdeep Bains announced that he'll be stepping down as Minister of Innovation, Science and Industry to spend more time with his family. He will continue to serve as Member of Parliament for Mississauga-Malton and will, of course, remain a key member of our Liberal team. Over the past 5 years, Nav has worked tirelessly to build a better Canada for everyone. Look no further than the program he worked on this spring to help businesses retool to make life-saving personal protective equipment. Before the pandemic, Canada produced about 1% of the domestic PPE we used. By the fall, almost half of the PPE Canada was buying was from domestic companies. NAV's work helped create thousands of jobs and support promising small businesses. He led the way with investments in cutting-edge Canadian science and in local economic growth with the innovation superclusters. He did all this while being a strong advocate for his community. So a few days ago, Nav called me up to ask to go for a walk in the snow. And I think we all know what that means in politics, so I was a little trepidatious about it, and I was busy coming up with all sorts of arguments as to why we should continue to work together the way we have been. And as we walked around the grounds of Rideau Hall, physically distanced with masks on, it became very clear that this was the right decision for him, for his family. He's been in this a long time. He was already well into politics when I got my start way back in 2006, 2007, and was a great friend to me throughout the entire time. He's continuing as MP. He's not going anywhere. But we will miss him around the cabinet table for all the insight, all the wisdom, and all the strength he brings. I also, of course, want to thank Bram, Nanki, and Kirpa for having shared him with us for all these years. His service has been extraordinary, and I know we're going to miss him, but you're going to miss him less, the three of you. Plus tôt aujourd'hui, nous avons procédé à quelques changements au sein.
Earlier today, we made some changes in cabinet. First, Minister Champagne will become Minister of Innovation, Science and Industry. He served as Minister of Foreign Affairs during an unprecedented crisis. His leadership has been incredible and essential. He led the most substantial repatriation of Canadians in Canadian history. The past year has brought with it unprecedented challenges on so many levels, and Minister Champagne has been a leader nationally and internationally. Thanks to Minister Champagne, we have strengthened our relations with other countries. His experience in business, and especially in the innovation sector, will be important strengths as we build a more resilient and inclusive economy. He is a member representing a rural riding. Minister Champagne will continue to represent Canada's regions in his new and important position with this new file. As of today, Minister Garneau becomes Minister for Foreign Affairs. Be it on Earth or in space, Mark has always represented Canada well. His recent experience working with the international community after the Flight 752 tragedy will be an asset to him in his new position.
Garneau moved the dial on a range of important issues, including the Safer Skies Initiative and the Oceans Protection Plan. These files and others will be in very good hands as Omar El-Khabra takes over as Minister of Transport. I've known Omar for a very long time, from my very beginnings in politics. And from his recent work as Parliamentary Secretary to the Prime Minister, I know he'll do an outstanding job. Minister El-Khabra brings to the table training as an engineer and in business, a history of advocacy for public transit in the GTA, and experience with everything from NGOs to the energy sector. This is in addition to his leadership on files like public service renewal and diversity. Finally, today we also announced that Minister Carr will be rejoining the cabinet table in his role as my special representative for the prairies. While he's been focusing on his health over the past many months, Jim has remained a very active voice for Winnipeg, for Manitoba, and for the prairies. Having served as both Minister of Natural Resources and Minister of International Trade Diversification, as well as being a business leader in Winnipeg, Jim knows what communities and businesses need to succeed. He will continue to be an outstanding advocate for people across the prairies as a member of Cabinet once again. Right from day one, it's been all hands on deck to keep people safe, support Canadians, and get our economy ready for a recovery. Starting today, I will be holding a virtual cabinet retreat so that our team can meet and map out our plan to continue this work. At the top of the agenda will be the vaccine rollout. And on that front, today I have some important news to share. I can announce that we have reached an agreement with Pfizer to buy an additional 20 million doses of their COVID-19 vaccine. From our agreements with Moderna and Pfizer alone, we will now have 80 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines arriving this year. We're on track to have every Canadian who wants a vaccine receive one by September. We've let all provinces and territories know exactly how many vaccines they'll be receiving every week between now and the end of February. This will make sure that they have the vaccines and the information they need to keep rolling out doses as quickly, as smoothly, and as efficiently as possible. On top of that, we will of course continue to work to get even more vaccines delivered as soon as we can. Aujourd'hui, je peux aussi annoncer que nous avons
Today, I'm happy to announce that we have reached an agreement with Pfizer to buy additional vaccine doses. Between mid-April and June, we will have doses to vaccinate an additional 20 million people. This brings us even closer to our goal of offering vaccines to all Canadians who want one by the fall. Major General Danny Fortin and Dr. New will have more information about this during their press conference on Thursday. Vulnerable persons and essential workers have already started to be vaccinated. Our government will continue to collaborate and work very, very hard with provinces and territories to ensure that vaccination continues as effectively and as quickly and safely as possible. That is our priority. Our government is doing everything it can and must to help you and your loved ones get through this pandemic safely. We're focusing on the present, but also on the future. Economic recovery must be inclusive and must benefit all Canadians. That's why we have a plan so that all Canadians can succeed. We have a plan to invest in job creation and to create 1 million jobs. We must also prioritize climate action in all of our decisions. Yesterday, I participated in the One Planet Summit with other world leaders. We discussed protecting biodiversity and protecting our climate. Canada is a world leader in international efforts in the field of sustainable development around the world. We continue to prioritize nature and healthy communities in all of our action. Our government will continue to invest so that today's world and the world of tomorrow can be healthy and prosperous for all.
The start of this pandemic has been protecting you and your family, whether by procuring vaccines or by bringing in strict travel and border measures. Our priority is your safety. This morning, I can confirm that Canada will extend by another 30 days until February 21st the border measures that are currently in place with the United States. This is an important decision and one that will keep people on both sides of the border safe. Things are really tough right now, and we all want this pandemic to be behind us. There have been a lot of things you've missed out on, or given up. But what will define this pandemic isn't what we couldn't do. It's what we could do and what we did do. Your parents and grandparents need you to help keep them safe. Our frontline workers and hospital staff need you to do your part so ICUs don't get overwhelmed. Even small actions can make a huge difference, like wearing a mask or downloading and using COVID Alert. Canada has now hit over 6 million downloads of the app. That's great, so let's keep going. Of course, not everything you can do to help will be easy. It won't be easy when you say no to a friend who wants to get together, or when you cancel a vacation south. But it'll be worth it. On peut tous faire des choix pour protéger les gens.
We can all make choices to protect the people around us. We can all do our share and do our part to get through this pandemic. For example, Quebecers are following curfew rules. And of course, this involves sacrifices. When you do your part, you are protecting your families. You are also protecting frontline workers. We are dealing with an increase in case counts. As a result, provinces will have to make difficult decisions, be it in imposing local restrictions or even province-wide curfews. Our government is here to support Quebecers, to support Quebec and all governments who are making difficult but necessary decisions to protect the health and safety of their citizens. We will continue to send essential equipment like testing kits and personal protective equipment. It is essential that these tests and testing kits be used everywhere in the country when necessary, be it in schools or in long-term care homes. This is essential in limiting the spread of COVID-19. Rapid tests help with this.
Our government will continue to support the provinces and territories with rapid tests and other tools needed to keep Canadians safe. Already, we've sent over 14 million rapid test kits to the provinces and territories, with more on the way. It's by working together that we will get through this crisis. This is the time to have each other's backs and to support the leadership communities need. Today, I can announce the appointment of Eva Ariak as the new Commissioner of Nunavut. Mrs. Ariak has been a lifelong champion for the territory as well as for Inuit languages and culture. As Nunavut's first woman premier and as an advocate for everything from housing to food security, I know Ms. Ariak will continue doing great work in this new role. This pandemic is a challenge like no other. Now, more than ever, we need to be there for each other. A little while ago, Najma and Kareem from Toronto sent me a letter about what the last year had been like for them as small business owners and as parents. Things have been tough, but they talked about how the wage subsidy helped keep their business open and how the Canada Child Benefit made a huge difference for their family. Well, on Friday, I gave them a call to see how things were going. They're staying positive, but our conversation reminded me that when we look out for the people around us, there's no challenge we cannot overcome. This will be a tough winter, but it will end. Spring will come, and summer will follow. But until then, let's have each other's backs, because together we can get through this. Merci.
Thank you, Prime Minister. We'll be starting with the phone today with one question, one follow-up, une question et une sous-question, en commençant par le téléphone aujourd'hui.
We'll start with questions on the phone line. Operator, over to you.
Merci. Première question, Raymond Filion, TVA.
First question, Raymond Filion, TVA. Thank you. Hello, Prime Minister. This announcement about 20 million additional doses of the Pfizer vaccine, and also it's my understanding that Canada will be receiving doses faster. Are we on track to meet the goal to vaccinate all Canadians who want to be vaccinated by September? Answer, Prime Minister Trudeau. We are continuing to aim for the September goal of vaccinating all Canadians who want to be vaccinated. We're confident that we will meet that goal. We are in fact, working to accomplish that goal either on time or sooner. We are doing absolutely everything we can, sparing no effort to ensure that we get vaccine doses here as soon as possible. The sooner we vaccinate most of the population, the sooner we can have a more normal life.
To accelerate delivery of vaccines and vaccinate as many people as quickly as possible. We are very confident in being able to meet the September deadline we've laid out in terms of getting everyone who wants a vaccine vaccinated in Canada. But obviously, if we can do it even quicker than that, that would be great news. The quicker everyone gets vaccinated, the quicker we're going to be able to get back to a semblance of normality.
En sous-question, Raymond?
Follow-up question, Raymond Fillon. My question is about today's cabinet shuffle. It seems to many that this is a clear signal that elections are coming, maybe even this spring. Is that the case? Answer, Prime Minister Trudeau. No, it's not necessarily a signal. What today's shuffle does mean is that we need the best possible team in cabinet serving Canadians throughout this crisis. François-Philippe Champagne will do an amazing job with the industry file. Marc Garneau will be a strong leader in international affairs, foreign affairs. And I'm thrilled that Jim Carr is joining us in cabinet again now that he has gotten healthier. We're also happy to welcome Omar Al-Gabra, my good friend, as Minister of Transport. He is a very hard worker and he's going to do a great job on this file. This cabinet shuffle today is necessary because another friend of mine, Navdeep Bains, has chosen to step down from cabinet, as well as to not run for re-election when there's an election. Our priority is to serve and stand by Canadians. We have promised to do so. We will continue to do so.
Thank you. Merci. Prochaine question, Hélène Buzetti, Le Devoir.
Next question, Hélène Buzetti, Le Devoir. Hello, Prime Minister Trudeau. I would like to follow up on my colleague from TVA's question that he just asked. So you lead a minority government. As leader of the Liberal Party, as Prime Minister, do you commit to not dissolve Parliament between now and June? Answer, Prime Minister Trudeau, my priority is to be there for Canadians, to help them get through this unprecedented crisis. We have helped Canadians with economic measures, with health measures. That is what we are focusing on, focusing all of our attention on. We will continue to work in collaboration with other political parties. We have done so. Many of our measures, legislation, have received the unanimous support of all parties in the House. When it comes to taking necessary action, we will spare no effort to support Canadians throughout every step of this crisis. Follow-up question. But you have not said that there will not be a spring election. Are you saying that you prefer not to call an election, but that if opposition parties are not supporting you, then you will call an election? Answer, Prime Minister Trudeau. Canadians expect that their government be there for them and do everything necessary to help them. That is what we are doing. That is what we will continue to do. We are protecting the health and safety of Canadians, all while ensuring a strong economy and strong economic recovery. We know that we can get through this. What Canadians want, most of all, as a priority, is for the government to have a plan to get through this pandemic. That is exactly what we are doing, and we are on track.
Thank you. Merci. Next question, Ryan Tumulty, National Post. Line open.
Yeah, good morning, sir. With the Pfizer doses, the additional doses you're announcing today, can you give us a timeline of when you expect those to be delivered by?
As I said, we are looking at seeing those doses arrive in April, May, I believe. Minister Anand, who will be up later, will have perhaps more information on that. We're continuing to work with various vaccine companies to accelerate, to move forward, to get more doses for Canadians as quickly as possible. Right now, we've been able to give very clear direction and information to the provinces on how many vaccine doses they'll be receiving every week between now and the end of February, which allows them to plan and manage their rollout processes. But at the same time, we're going to continue working to see if we can't get a few more doses, because all Canadians want this to move forward as quickly as possible.
Following up, Ryan?
Yeah, and on Minister Bain's departure, he's been an architect of innovation in the Canadian economy, the superclusters initiative, changing some of the structures of the Canadian economy and modernizing it. Do you see that work continuing under Minister Champagne, or do you think there's time for a new approach as well?
Oh, no, I think Minister Champagne is going to be exceptional at continuing the great work that Minister Baines has laid out over the past 5 years. Innovation and science is more important than it's ever been in this pandemic and in the recovery we're looking at. On top of that, the way we work with businesses, large and small, right across the country in terms of empowering them to bring the economy roaring back as quickly as possible as we get through this pandemic is something that I know François Philippe will be extremely good at and is looking forward to doing. We'll all miss Minister Baines, of course, but we have a great team of amazing Canadians ready to continue stepping up for Canadians every single day.
And Glenn McGregor, CTV News. Prime Minister, previously we were expecting 6 million doses of Moderna and Pfizer combined by the end of March. Now you're saying as early as a month later, it could actually be 40 million doses. That's a massive increase. And I'm wondering what changed above and beyond this additional $20 million order from Pfizer. Did you agree to pay a premium in order to fast track the deliveries, or was there some other kind of agreement that accelerated it so quickly in that time period?
Again, Minister Anand will be up later and be able to go into more detail on this, but suffice it to say we have those guaranteed 6 million doses by the end of Q1 in the first 3 months of 2020, as we've always laid out. But at the same time, we're doing everything we can to bring forward more doses, to accelerate the process, because we know the sooner we get as many Canadians as possible vaccinated, the sooner we get through this pandemic.
En français, s'il vous plaît.
Okay.
Answer repeated in French. We will have 6 million doses, which translates to 3 million people vaccinated by March 2020. So within the first 3 months, 2021, so within the first 3 months of this year. We are, of course, doing everything we can to accelerate vaccine procurement and vaccination. Minister Anand will have more information about this later. Question, Julienne Lapointe, Radio Canada. We understand that your priority is fighting COVID. Once everyone's been vaccinated by the fall, by September, will you call an election then? Answer, Prime Minister Trudeau. We are working very hard to vaccinate as many people as possible, as well as to ensure a strong economic recovery. We need to fight climate change and take climate action. We need to invest in science and innovation. We need to ensure that all have an equal chance of success, that all can succeed in our economy. That's the way that we can get through this pandemic in the best possible way. I lead a minority government. I can't control what other parties do. That said, our party is focused on the safety and prosperity of Canadians.
Parliament, other political parties say or do. But we will continue to focus on getting Canadians through this pandemic, which, yes, means vaccinating as many people as possible, as quickly as possible. But it also means making sure our economy can come roaring back with continued business supports, with investments in innovation and science and technology, with support for the fight against climate change and supports for Canadians who've been marginalized and fallen through cracks for far too many years before this pandemic exposed them. We have an awful lot of work work to do, and our government is focused on doing that work.
Prime Minister Michael Couture from Global National. At the end of last year, in several interviews, when you were asked about the possibility of an election, you said you didn't want an election. Today, it looks like you're preparing for one. So I just wanted to ask you, between that walk with Mr. Baines and today, did you or your office specifically ask cabinet ministers if they were ready to continue on with the team and run in the next election so that you could make this shuffle today?
No. From the very beginning of any minority parliament, every political party understands that elections can happen. But as I've been consistently saying, we don't want an election. We need to continue to work hard and focus on Canadians, on delivering supports, on keeping Canadians safe, on creating and continuing to deliver our strong plan that is going to bring the economy roaring back and make sure that Canadians get through this the right way. That's our focus, and I certainly hope to be able to work constructively in Parliament this spring, this winter and spring, to be able to deliver those things for Canadians.
Hi, Prime Minister Trudeau, Olivia Stefanovich, CBC News. Independent of what the opposition might do, will you commit to holding off an election until every Canadian who wants to get a vaccine gets one?
Obviously, that is our preference. We want to continue to deliver vaccines to Canadians. We want to continue to deliver supports to Canadians, to small businesses, to families. The priority that all Canadians have right now is getting through this pandemic, and that is what we are focused on. We've seen over the past year a tremendous degree of support for our plan to support Canadians, unanimous consent on many of the measures that we've put forward that support Canadians, and I certainly hope that continues in the House, that we're able to constructively deliver for Canadians. That's what people expect.
So I hear that's your preference, but you're not making a clear commitment. Can you make a clear commitment today that you will refrain from triggering an election until the majority of Canadians are vaccinated?
My commitment is to doing whatever is necessary to support Canadians through this pandemic. We will continue to deliver supports for families. We will continue to be there for businesses. We will continue to be there for communities across the country struggling to get through. I made a promise standing here months and months ago that we would have Canadians' backs. And that's what we're focused on, and that's what we will continue to do.
Chris Reynolds, Canadian Press. The Federal Information Watchdog is calling for the Prime Minister's office and the offices of cabinet ministers to be included under the Access to Information Act. I'm wondering if you will honor your promise to bring your office and those of your cabinet ministers under that legislation.
In 2017, we put forward the most significant renewal of the Access to Information Act since it was created in the 1980s. We strengthened it, we expanded it. Right now, there is a review process ongoing that the Information Commissioner has contributed to, and we're going to allow that review process to continue and make recommendations about how best to move forward.
Merci, c'est ce qui me fait la conférence.
Thank you. That concludes today's press conference. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.